Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Shall we? Who's ready for some boom, baby, boom, right? And shine. It's your morning marijuana motivation time. Your host with the Moses Marquis Saint. And I started Weed Club. We're going to smoke this weed right here by the river. We're going to pattern interrupt, even if it's little lesbian girls holding the hands in the middle of Finland. You got to interrupt the patterns. You got to be able to snap yourself the fuck out of it and snap yourself into it, because that's one of the things that we all do and we all know is our own patterns, but we might not interrupt them. Plastic pocket challenge. You know, we might just indulge them. And when we indulge those patterns, we get stuck. And that's why we have to have this conversation to unfuck and unstuck ourselves at Saints Addiction. Leg out, let's go. So the morning routine has been interrupted this morning. So I'm not on my laptop. I had to transfer some data from my phones. There's a lot of data in the cache that I didn't realize, like in my WhatsApp, a lot of data, and my phone. And I said, why not sort it by the river? You know what I mean? Called my homie, I said, meet me there. I got my fruit on my backpack. You know, I got a little apple, banana, and some baked goods. And of course, you already know Weed Club. We had got one rolled up. But you got to get away from your own patterns. That's the enemy within, is this the ability to say, I'm not going to keep doing the same shit I've done over and over again. The definition of insanity is doing everything over and over and expecting different results. Well, how are we going to get different results if we don't interrupt the pattern? And that's a hard question, because we are so keen as sophisticated mammals on figuring out ways for us to get what we want every fucking day, right? Like, nobody's going to interrupt you for your cigarette. Nobody's going to interrupt you for your coffee. Nobody's going to stop you from doing what you already do, right? Like, you found a way to make it happen every day. And that's what will end up happening, is if you don't interrupt your patterns and you make yourself do something the same, you're going to be like, fuck, who's in control of this thing? Me or the elements or the gods or is that just the way that I am? I'm here to say or argue the fact that if you watch yourself do something different, then you're for sure going to get a different trajectory. You're for sure going to get a different ending, and you're for sure not going to be the same person that you are, because you entered in new data, right? Like, as I'm clearing out my cache, you know, the new data has to be part of the mix, right? Like, when you do something new, now all of a sudden you have different catalysts, different chemistry, and different chemicals are going on inside of you. It's the same thing with like working out. It's the same thing with like going into nature. It's the same thing as not doing the same thing. And that's a really cool thing, because once you get away from yourself, right, and you stop acting like a fool, or stop using the same tools, or you maybe use a different part of your brain or a different part of your being, then all of a sudden you have a different life. And people are always like, oh man, I wish I didn't have depression. Well, it's like, have you done anything to help yourself from the depression? Odds are you haven't. And that's why we're having this conversation, is that you haven't done anything, Plastic Pocket Challenge, to get a different result in your life. And you're going to be like, why? Why is my life always the same? And it's like, because you're usually doing the same shit over and over again. Smoking the same cigarettes, same brand, in the same location, probably like in a corner outside. It's your comfortable spot. And this is why, you know, comfort is a place where dreams go to die, is because we go there, and we're going to go here real quick and enjoy some of the sunshine. We go to these places and we expect them to change us, right? We didn't add any change. We just expect it to change. And it's like, expectations are what keeps us away from actual change. You know, we expect other people to fall around us or create a different environment or act a certain way around us. They're not going to do that. They're not going to capitulate. They're not going to go down and be like, yeah, sure, bro, I'm just going to stop what I'm doing and focus on you and what you do. Instead, we need to go inside and focus on ourselves. We go, like, if we have quiet moments like this right here, this is my quiet moment spot. right? These people just left. I'm going to get in on it. But when we have quiet moments, we have conversations with ourselves that we wouldn't necessarily normally have, right? So when you're quietly inside of your mind, like my quiet spot, yes, you're welcome. All this little shimmery and everything's beautiful and warm, you get into your head and you go, you know what? Man, I'm the one to blame, right? I'm the one that's smoking all my weed. I'm the one that's drinking all my beers. I'm the one that keeps putting myself in situations over and over again and expecting them to change, right? I'm expecting other people to change, but I'm not willing to change myself. I'm not willing to interrupt the pattern so it becomes the same thing every day. And then we're wondering why I'm not moving forward, or why my life is a lie, or why the things aren't the way that I want them to be. And I go into people and I go, well, let's see, what did you do to change it? What did you do to make it different? And this will change the trajectory of your whole entire life, right? Like if you go like, okay, well, I started doing walks. I heard this once at my DUI class. The mom said her son died from a DUI accident. And she said, he used to motivate me to go for walks right after dinner, like right after dinner, so that way you can get the energy moving. There's a guy that says you get moving before you go to bed so you can get the fat off your waistline. It's one of those, right? Like if you're one of those people that just goes, okay, I'm just gonna fucking eat, fall asleep, stomach's full, blood goes to the stomach away from the brain, and yeah, of course you're gonna want to take a nap, right? Like who doesn't want to have that cozy nap? So comfortable with my little blanket, and you know what I mean? Boom, next thing you're parked. Next thing you know, all those calories are around your waist while you sleep, and then you have to wake up feeling a little bit more lethargic, right? And then you're like, who's to blame on that thing? Well, she got the encouragement from her son to go for walks. Now her energy has to work for her. It's not just calories, but it's energy. And then it's inside of you and you're like, wait a minute, I'm a being. I can do something with this energy instead of it just happening to me, or maybe I don't know what the fuck is going on or whatever. It's like that. No, you can look at yourself and go, this is the thing that gave me a new trajectory. I started fasting. That's one of the biggest things for me. It took the weight off the belly. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Marky Saint, I feel good about it. I can just lift up my shirt and know that I don't eat till 3 o'clock, that no fast foods, no fried foods, nothing like that. You know what I mean? Nothing processed. And then fresh fruits first thing in the morning. You don't believe me? Here's my apple right here. Here's my apple, here's my banana and my pastries ready to go. Breakfast will be eaten at 3 o'clock, but not till then. And then I wasn't flooding my system with like the bacon, eggs, and cheese. And then now my heart has to get over all the calories and all the cholesterol and the fats that come with it. I gotta be the honest one about it. Like it's one of the things, like especially with eating. When you're looking at it, people can see what you've been eating, like your training and your philosophy to food, or the way that you are. You like you can see it in people. And like, yeah, when you're not around, I smash cookies, or my coping mechanism is eating my feelings, or I really don't see what's wrong with the calories that I intake, and then it's just a habit. And these are why I'm calling them pattern interruptions, because our habits are already defined by us. We picked them. We said, this is what's going to make me feel comfortable. Let me go hit this fast food joint. Let me go hit this joint. And then let me go sit and park and spark in front of the Netflix. And that will be what I consider my ultimate happy. And just like I watch, and you probably watch it too with David Attenborough and all these other different, shows or movies, the squirrels are looking for food. I'm watching little, what are they called? They're not moles. What are those things called? I don't remember. Anyway, it's the small ones. They're even smaller than mouses, but they eat on the end of the succulents. They're just getting to the trees, and they know which trees have the right nectar and which ones have the sweetest juices, and all those things take place inside of us, and we go, okay, that's what's going to make me happy. And instead of defining our happiness and what would make me ultimately happy, well, obviously ultimate happy me is getting up early in the morning, doing my stretching, getting in front of the sun, getting inside of my skin, and then getting out of my own head. That's my ultimate morning. After I worked out, getting some good calories, having a lounge day, then get on the computer, then handle what I got to do. Instead of be the first thing in my screen is boom, right in my eyes with the blue light, I make sure that I get the real light. And that's been a huge difference for me. It's like subtle things. I was talking about it yesterday, the spaces in between. You got to create enough pattern interruption to put something else in that space. You know what I mean? Something else that can get you feeling that good instead of the comfort that you already are seeking. And that's just as hard, because it's going to be your brain telling you what's up. Hello, I see you. Telling you, go, bro, just interrupt it all. just keep doing what you're doing. Here's the tough part is then now you won't get any new results. I got to be honest with you. When you do things like that, like I'm going to do the same thing over and over every morning, eat the same breakfast every morning. No, I'm not eating the same breakfast every morning. And that's when my 10th grade English teacher taught me variety is the spice of life. And to add variety, to be intrepid, to be brave, to be able to interrupt the pattern, that's when you're going to be able to see different things. You'll be like, okay, this won't last long. Summer's almost over here in Finland. Yeah, the sun is shining, but soon it's going to be autumn and I can already see the leaves changing. They're changing, and soon it's going to be us in Vietnam. I'm changing destinations. It interrupts my pattern, so then I won't have to eat the same thing for breakfast, because then I'll be in Vietnam and there'll be something else I eat for breakfast, different fruits, different locations, different foods. And this is what makes life so much more amazing, is that I can't predict it. If you are in control of it, then you would be like, okay, I'm going to choose to do these healthy things instead of these comfortable things that I always choose. And it would, if I had it up to my way, sure, it would be bacon and eggs. I'd pull an Elvis Presley and just put a fucking peanut butter jelly and deep fry it with some banana in it. We all know what happened to him. He became extremely overweight and ended up dying of constipation on a toilet seat at 42, I think. So at 45, I want to stay alive, especially when I see my friends that have died, went to hospitals, didn't even make it to the ambulance, they're no longer alive anymore. That shit saddens me. I'm like, fuck, bro, that's like, they could still be playing with me. I just lost another good friend too of some liver cancer, and it's like, I can't control them and what they put in their mouth, what they put in their lungs, and what they put in their mind. It's the diet of the mind, it's the diet of the body, and it's the diet of the soul. And what they consume will consume them completely. And this is why it's so hard to interrupt a pattern. And this is where you start seeing the addiction. Oh shit, look, these people got a little, oh man, they got a kayak. This is why it's so hard to stop ourselves, is because we're so programmed. We programmed ourselves. They talk about Pavlov's dogs and how they would drool if they heard the bell, and paired the stimulus with the, what is the stimulus with the, it's the stimulus. They paired the stimulus, the sound with the stimulus. It was a stimulus that made them know that food was going to come. So the dog started to drool, and they would be like, okay, food's coming. And then lo and behold, it was just a bell. We like to do that to ourselves. We have bells in our head where we're like, shit, it's my day off, I can't wait to smoke. Or now it's the time, I haven't eaten all day, let me consume a bunch of fucking shitty calories. Or maybe I'm just moody. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm PMSing. Maybe it's that time of the month. Maybe it's my week, where I want to just eat chocolate or something salty, or, something sugary. We all have it in us. If you don't believe it, go look at your choices. Go look at the Taco Bells, the Pizza Huts, the McDonald's. They already got our whole palate programmed. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you really want something crunchy, salty, we'll give you some fried foods. Let's fry your brain. Let's fry your stomach. Let's fry your waistline. Nobody's looking. Get what you want, and then all of a sudden you're hungry, and like less than 2 hours later, it's not nutritious and it's not good for you, and you know it, because if it was smacking, like if you could make broccoli smack like that, or if you could make I don't know, any kind of vegetable just really pop, you would be like, man, I'm gonna go eat me some cabbage, bro. And you'd be like, yeah, let's go smash some cabbage, bro. That's what we do. We find our way to the cabbage. We find our way to the money, and we find ourselves to the excuse of any way we can to get back to the comfortable spot that we came from. And that's why I have these conversations. It's like, can you interrupt the patterns? Can you not just drink the Coca-Cola in the morning? Can you not smoke the cigarette for 5 seconds, and then the next day for 10 seconds, and the next day for 20 seconds, and pretty soon it's 2 minutes, 20 days, and you're further away from the interruption that you had, that instinct that you got inside of us that we all have, and especially if you want something like a coffee or a cigarette or some cannabis, is going to be like, you smoke now. And you're going to be like, wait a minute, I need something else, bro. I need something else in my life to make me not be the same way that I am. And I love these kids too. Good morning. They're always walking. It's cool for the mentally handicapped. And don't give them a subscribe, y'all. Getting outside, not walking to the same places, not going to the same parks, not doing the same sparks. You're going to have to find pattern interrupters that work on your mind. And this is really hard, because it's going to be like, well, shit, what else works as good as like a shot of tequila? Well, you're not taking shots of tequila in the morning, or at least I hope you're not, but something to that effect. Well, shit. climbing Mount Everest. Like, not all of us are going to do that. Not everybody's got 10 grand to climb Mount Everest, but there's a local hill near you. There's always a free outside. Nature's always free, and so is exercise. But we don't want to do that because it doesn't taste the same, right? The sugar doesn't taste the same as broccoli, right? And we know we need the broccoli. We know we need the minerals, the vitamins, and the health and the fibers out of the vegetables. But what do they give us? No, they give us the meat, right, to the protein. And our mammal brains will be like, yeah, let's give us some proteins. And yeah, they're mammal brains because I even watch monkeys hunt fucking rats in the trees just so they can get proteins. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of nature shows, and I see a lot of us in them, like watching gorillas having 98% of our DNA, and why they always like to be around family. And the situation's even cooler because guess what? There's safety in numbers. So we've learned to be around other human beings, and my friend's on his way. It's going to take him about an hour, but I got plenty of time in the sunshine. Got plenty of the no rain, beautiful clouds, and you already know I love my life. You know, I love my life to be able to just go when I want to go. I have no boss, just pack my lunch, fucking get a joint, park and spark, you know, say what's up, and then I get to go live my life on my own terms. And that brings me way higher highs than cocaine ever did, or alcohol ever did, or cigarettes ever did. It's just such a short-lived exchange of time for not interrupting that pattern to get these same shitty ass fucking reactions in our brain, like fast food or something crunchy or I don't even know, salty. You know what you want, you know, even sexual, you know what you want, and you're like, is this healthy for me? Does this bring me long-term happiness and longevity, or is it just a short burst and then I'm going to run out and then I'm going to have withdrawals, and then it's going to keep me in a cyclical loop looking for that high that it mimicked, like cocaine or cigarettes or sex. You know, you're all trying to match that. Well, I was watching the UFC, and the guy goes, electrolytes after you've been starving and not drinking any water is the best feeling. He's like, give me that Gatorade, baby. Better than sex, he said, in my opinion. And you're like, damn, bro, what's a lot of things that are better than sex? Me, food, weed. I love my food, weed, and sex. That's definitely Saints addiction all day, baby. But, you know, to pattern interrupt, I would pair those things with like a cocaine or an alcohol or a shot of something. And I was like, a shot of Patron Silver, salted, with a Corona, lime, Coke lines, and then some weed to keep me chill. I thought that was the perfect scenario. If you had your boy Marky Saint 20 years ago, I would be on a cruise doing these booze cruising and forgetting and just blacking out and overweight. But I was just like, hey, I'm happy inside right now. My brain is telling me that I got this lines, I got this lime, I got this shot, and these little shot limes and Cokes or whatever the fuck I was trying to be on, it only ruined my life, bro. I was getting arrested off of fucking cruise lines. I was forgetting my lines. I was being naked inside of the fucking cabin, so everybody saw my ass hanging out of the fucking sleeper hall, and I didn't even know how to put my own drawers on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even shit my pants. How about that? So all those things that I was reaching for, and I was like, I'm so happy. Of course they're going to show you that. You're going to watch a Smirnoff article or a Bacardi commercial or a beer. Every time everybody's skinny, right? They got great teeth. You know what I mean? And they're all super happy. What I see is a depression, more depression. All my friends losing their teeth. They drank them away. They smoked them away. And they're definitely overweight. And you're just like, wait, that's not like the commercial. That's not what they sold us. And they sold us a pack of lies. And this is why we're having this conversation this morning, because you have to interrupt the pattern so you can interrupt the lies. And that's a tough conversation to have with yourself, because then you're going to be there. And just like I've had this joint in my hand, you're going to be like, am I going to fucking hit it? Am I going to hit it? Am I going to give myself 5 seconds? Am I going to show any resistance to the pattern so that I'm in control over me, versus the cigarette just bam, lit, boom, before you even know it. And most of us can admit, boom, lighter was in the hands, cigarette was in the hand, and you couldn't even stop yourself from being the man or being in control over your body, mind, and soul, and saying, you know what, I don't need that at all. And that's huge, bro. When you're talking about Saints addiction, and I do, you already know, join Weed Club, but I was just watching myself, especially coming back from world travel, and next thing I know, that cigarette was in my hand, and I was like forcing my hand back. I was like literally like, who's control of this ship? And that was just like, wow, I had never felt anything like that. Never smoked a cigarette in my life till I was 30 years old, traveling, my Turkish friend, and next thing I know, All the spliffs had tobacco. I was smoking them all the fucking time. I couldn't stop myself no matter what time it was. I was just addicted. And that's when I was just like, okay, let's do some pattern interruptions here. Let's like see if we can get up earlier, make calls later at night, not eat till 3 o'clock. Those things all helped me, or get fresh sun on my skin, or not live with just the phone on my face, but go look at the sky and see what the weather looks like. Just go, just to put the first light on my eyes, on my skin, and in my soul has changed everything for me, bro. And I'm so grateful. Let's bless up. Don't forget to join Weed Club. Yep, I see you guys. Say hi. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go. Morning motivation, baby. So that's what I do. I'm not just saintly. It's not like that. It was just more of a pattern interruption that I let take place. Wait the 5 seconds. You can quit cigarettes, make the 5 seconds 10 seconds. 10 seconds becomes 20 seconds. 20 becomes 40. And pretty soon you're forcing yourself not to smoke. You're going to be like, yep, you got to wait the 5 seconds. And sure shit. Oh, there was a fish on shirts. I wait till about halfway through the show. I've already been live for 20 minutes before I park and spark. Just giving myself enough time to enjoy the fresh air before I start smelling like a spliff, and enjoying the sunshine before I forget and miss and stretch and do all those other things, especially when I get off this. I don't have a phone in my hand. I can sit here, put my legs up, start stretching out really and truthfully, start feeling my bones, my ligaments, anywhere that it hurts, give it a little bit of love, give it a little bit of lean. Just feel these things. And if I was numb, then I wouldn't feel anything. I would just go over to the freezer, take all the preservatives and extra salt out of the freezer, throw it in the microwave, kill any nutrients that it had, melt the cheese, put it around my heart, put it around my waist, and just go park and spark right in front of the couch to do a big bong rip and just watch Netflix or YouTube and just drone out. And then I waste my time. And then I was just like, oh shit, I can't get the time back. I made a choice. And this is why we're having this conversation. If you can interrupt the pattern, then you're making choices instead of the pattern. And that is big deal. That's addiction 101, to say, hey, I'm in control of this ship. Look at me. Look at me now. I'm the captain. I'm the captain of this ship. I'm going to have to pull the old Somalian, I forget what the name of that movie was, with Tom Hanks and shit like that. But, it's all of that. It's all of us. Can we get ourselves up, put on the fucking pants, put on the shoes, and go for a walk? Don't you feel a little bit better? But it's hard to beat ourselves and put that little, carrot in front of us and go, you're going to feel better if you go to the gym, right? So what's going to win, the microwave or the gym? You know what I mean? I always say gyms over bars, because everybody would just be like, they'll show up every time at the bar because that's their solution. They haven't interrupted the pattern long enough to come up with a different pattern to see better results. So they just keep what they got. And now they're wondering that's all they got. They don't have any hope. They don't have any dope. They don't have a chance because they don't give themselves the chance. And this is why we're having this conversation this morning. This is why I do the morning motivation, because I had to switch it. Brushing my teeth with my left hand. I'm naturally right-handed, but guess what? Start brushing it with my left hand, reprogramming my brain. Not listening to anything but megahertz at night instead of some background bullshit that I would listen on YouTube. It just megahertz and what are those called? Sound bowls and anything else that can calm me down while I sleep. I participate in that. And then what else? This morning routine, going for walks, going outside in the sunshine, getting next to the river. Just being 5 minutes next to a water source calms all humans down. It's how we work. Not one of us works differently. Not one of us gets a different chemistry or the bond in our brains. We all go for it. Go look at it. Go look. If I go right past right now, people at Burger King. Burger King shouldn't be your breakfast, bro. Neither should McDonald's. Neither should convenience. Anybody can go get a cheap apple. I promise you that. Go steal an apple. I don't give a fuck, bro. But putting fresh fruits in my mouth first, that's been a game changer, instead of the bacon, eggs, and cheese. And trust me, I want it to be a fucking full English breakfast every morning. But you can't eat the same thing every morning. You got to switch it up. And that's why I'm having this conversation this morning, is the switch up. You might switch up your mood but do you have control over it? And that's been the biggest thing, because if you're just moody, then you're gonna go and just go eat again. You know, you saw your ex-boyfriend, he found a new girlfriend, and you're gonna be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go eat. A lot of people make that decision, then they wonder why they can't find their next mate. You didn't interrupt the pattern to stop the hate. You didn't stop the feelings. You didn't even control your feelings. You just started to supplement them, and now you're stuck in your circle, and you're wondering why you can't get out of your own maze. We're not rats, bro. We're not always chasing the cheese. It's not always about motherfucking money. It's about freedom. And that's what we want to seek. The freedom to wake up when we want to wake up, take on our day, and make things the healthy way. Ooh, look, that fish already got one. That's what I'm after. You know, I'm after the things that last longer. I'm still an addict. I'm addicted to the good times. You know, I really want to feel really good all the time. What makes me feel good the best? Great food, a good diet, healthy nutrition. It just does. It works from the inside. Reinforcing that with a workout, another way of fucking getting me my own endorphins, my own dopamines from the inside. And then all of a sudden, I'm alive. I crave proteins. I crave vegetables. I stop craving fast foods. I stop craving cheap calories. You know what I mean? Gone are the bags. Gone are the chips. You know. It's been a blessing. So I didn't murder myself in the gym. I didn't cut calories to 1,000. No, I just picked better foods, and I picked movement, and that in itself got my motion into emotions, right? So we want to be, what was the word that I used? We want to be reaction instead of emotion. You know, we want to be in control of our reactions, so that way we're not just emotional, and then all of a sudden I'm gambling and I'm sexing, and I'm all over the place. I'm looking for outside sources. You have sex with me so I can feel good inside, or quick, give me that hamburger so I can just ease my hunger pains. And then, oh yeah, don't worry about my waistline or my cholesterol or my heart rate. Just gonna be like that the whole fucking way? No way, bro. I'm gonna fucking tell myself what I want. I want fresh fruit, so I got a fruit. I got an apple and a banana looking at me right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm outside and I'm next to the water and I'm chill. I got my morning motivation on. I'm out here stretching, you know, getting exercising the demons instead of sitting in front of the computer and locking up my neck and my back. No, I'm going to come out here and stretch. I'm going to work on my breathing exercises. Another great way to release stress and keep that heart rate down. It's a silent killer. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we're all super fucking stressed. We just start going in our head and be like, this bill's due, so you're going to have to stay by this computer and you're not going to get to move. Would you not see yourself as a more effective human being working 4 days a week and exercises in the morning? The Japanese do this, you know, before you go do heavy labor, they all do a group stretch, you know, some Tai Chi and Tikarilla, you know, something to get us from being that dud in front of the fucking mud, in the mud, fucking can't get out of the screen, can't get out of our own way. We give ourselves an opportunity that day. And that's when you start seeing the break in the cycles. That's when you start breaking addiction. That's literally the cure, is finding better impulses. It's not like your brain is stupid. No, it's going to be like, yo, what's that thing that I like? We're like a monkey. Where's my favorite tree with my favorite fruit? You're going to go right back to it. But you can wear out that tree. You can wear out that fruit. You can wear out that pattern. And one day you're going to have to say, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to eat fresh fruits for breakfast. I'm going to start fasting. There's a little dragonfly on top of the lilies. How beautiful is that? I'm going to start exercising, you know, and you watch those people. We all do. We all see people that lost a bunch of fucking weight, or they start feeling great. They start smiling more. They look good. They feel good. Even their aura starts shining differently. And then we're like, you know what? That's what I want to be like. You know, I want to be happy. Well, trust me, they didn't get it from fast food, and they didn't get it from drugs. Because I tried all those things and it didn't make me feel good at all. So here is me now, halfway across the world, in the best part of the weather, in the best part of the time, being free. I can leave the shop, come back when I want to, go over, do my own business, make phone calls when I need to, and then I can take on the day the way that I want to, with a stretch and a shine and some happy time, instead of the guy that would have been literally from the microwave to the TV to the couch and just gaining the weight, gaining the more depression, and burying myself in my feelings. That's this morning's motivation. If you got anything out of this, you already know. Like, share, and subscribe below. And as always, peace and love. And Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, man. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. The other side of your excuses, because we all make them. They're silent killers. And the other side of the world, because that's where I be. Peace. Oh, it didn't stop. Come on, phone. It's live, baby. And